Hello everyone and welcome to Cloud Engineering Projects. In today's episode of Cloud Engineering Projects, I'm going to be demonstrating how to provision a virtual machine. So the question is, why virtual machine? Well, the answer is, why not virtual machine? Virtual machine is a very important fundamental of cloud engineering. So in this project tutorial, I will be showing you how to create a virtual machine using Terraform. As this YouTube channel is specifically for project development, if you are unfamiliar with the concept of virtual machine, I encourage you to take the Azure Fundamental AZ900 course. It will give you a comprehensive understanding of what a virtual machine is. So let's quickly get started. But before we get started with provisioning a virtual machine, let's quickly talk about some important components that all come together when you create a virtual machine. So we have the operating system, which is essentially what dictates the operability of your virtual machine. Then we have the virtual network, aka the VNet. This is the component that allows for traffic communication. Then we have the subnet. We have the network interface card, aka NIC. We also have the network security group. All of these components are all part of the fundamentals of cloud. So if you are not familiar with any or all of these components, please refer to the fundamentals of cloud engineering by taking the AZ900 course on Pluralsight or the AWS Cloud Practitioner course. Then again, we have the IP address, which is another very important component of the virtual machine and even the cloud. Another essential component of the virtual machine are the storage and the memory. These are important components, especially when we start to mention topics like system capacity of a virtual machine. So all of these are what come together when you create a virtual machine. So to create a virtual machine using Terraform, please go on to Cloud Engineering Project official GitHub page using this URL. I'm also going to be making this URL available when I post this video on YouTube. So you go on to github.com/cloud engineering project and then click into the infrastructure and operations repository. So inside of this infrastructure and operations repository, you can then clone this project into your local device. I have this project already on my own device. So what I'll do is I'll just go into my local machine, and this is the project here. So as you can see, this is infrastructure and operations repository here. And inside of it, I have the virtual machine creation, which is VM creation. And also I have the Terraform file. So this is the one that we will be shooting the video on today, which is Terraform, i.e. creating a virtual machine using Terraform. And inside of this Terraform folder, I have the main.tf file, I have the output file, and then I have the variable.tf file. If I click on this main.tf file, then you see all of the resources that we get provisioned when we run this Terraform code. Okay, so a resource group will be provisioned. And what's a resource group? It's a container of resources. So this is where resources that we will be creating will be housed, right? Okay, then if you remember also, I mentioned something about virtual network as an important component that gets provisioned when we create our virtual machine. Here, we will be provisioning our virtual network. The same thing with the subnet. We will be deploying the subnet also. Then we will also be provisioning public IP address. We will be provisioning network security group. And this block of code here is the security root, which allows connection into the virtual machine through SSH. The same thing here. This one here is allowing connection into the virtual machine through RDP. Okay, so then we create or provision our network interface card, and then finally we provision our virtual machine. Okay, if you are not familiar with this code here, this is Terraform code, and my recommendation would be to quickly catch up with Terraform tutorial either on YouTube or on Pluralsight. There are quite a lot of amazing tutorials that give information and teach about Terraform knowledge. Okay, so we've declared these resources that will get provisioned when we run this Terraform code. Okay, so if I go into this output.tf file, This is essentially indicating that we need to see the resource group name and the IP address. So I've only just put this one here for example sake. But if you want, you can also output the name of the subnet, you can output the name of the VNet, whatever thing, you can output it. Then the next one that I will go to is the variable.tf file. So this is where we declare the variable names that we will be using inside of this code. Okay. So if you look at the name of the resource group here, I am calling it to be tf_rg_bioku resources. The same thing with the location. The default location name will be UK West. The same thing with the VM name. The default VM name will be Bioku VM. And then for VNet, subnet, nickname, public IP address, NSG name, admin password. So this is where I am setting the admin password, right? Because after the provision of the virtual machine, we will need to log in into the virtual machine. So this will be the password of the virtual machine, and this will be the username of the virtual machine, which is admin_bioku. So we also need to set the size of the virtual machine, and here I am setting the size to be standard D2S V3. This essentially means 8 GB of RAM. This is the way Microsoft is providing memory capacity in Azure. So we've gone through the main.tf file, we've gone through the output.tf file, and we've gone through the variable.tf file. So the next thing will be to now deploy the resources. So when I apply or run this code, all of the resources that is inside of this main.tf file will get deployed. Okay, so I am going to now open up my terminal, new terminal, and then to run this, you will notice here that I am inside the infrastructure and operations folder, okay, which is the folder here, right? So inside of this infrastructure and operations folder, I have VM creations. So I'll navigate into the VM creation by doing cd VM creation. Now, inside of this VM creation, I have a few other folders. Okay, I have the Porter folder, the PowerShell, Python, Shell, and then Terraform, right? So the one that I'm going to navigate into will be the Terraform. So I'll do cd Terraform. Now I am inside the Terraform folder. Okay, so the next thing that I will need to do will be to initialize Terraform. So that Terraform will go through my code and have a knowledge of what is happening inside my code. Okay, so I will do Terraform init. And as you can see now, Terraform has now been successfully initiated. Okay, so if I drop down on this Terraform folder, you will see that I've got some other folders here. Okay, I've got this .terraform folder, and then I've got this .terraform.lock.hcl, which is HashiCorp language. So these two are automatically created for me after I executed the Terraform init command, right? So the next command that I will run now will be Terraform apply. But before I click enter, I would like to quickly go to my Azure portal to show you that I do not have these resources provisioned already. And as you can see here, the virtual machine page is completely empty. If I also go back into the resource groups, you will see that I do not have any resource group name. What's the name of the resource group again? If I come here, go to variables, and then if I go up here, I do not have any resource group name tf_rg_resources. Okay, so everything here is blank. Now I will come back to my code, and then I will click on enter, Terraform apply, and then enter. So this is going to start the provisioning of these resources for us. Okay, this is now asking me to enter a value. So because I did not run the Terraform with an auto approve command, I will need to type in yes here. Okay, so I will just copy this yes and then paste it here. If I hit on enter now, this is going to continue like nothing happened. But I am not going to do it like that. I will just press Ctrl C to terminate the program, and then I will type Terraform apply dash dash auto dash approve. This means that I do not want it to be interactive. I do not want to answer any question on the terminal. So I don't want Terraform to ask me to type in yes or no, whether or not I want to continue with the program. So with this dash dash auto dash approve, I am telling Terraform to continue without asking me anything. So I'll just click enter now, and then I will not be asked that yes or no question again. So he's thinking about it, and then the program has now started. So it's now provisioning all the resources that we've declared. This is it. It's creating the resource group, creation complete. Then it's creating the network security group here. It's creating the subnet here. And then it's creating the network interface card here. Then it's setting the rule here. This is the rule that allows the RDP. After that, it's creating the virtual machine here. Okay, so if we go onto Azure now and then click on resource groups, then you will see that we have the resource group here now, okay, which is tf_rg_boku resources. So I'll click into the resource group, and then you'll be able to see all of the components or the resources that get created that we defined inside of our Terraform code. So this is the network interface card. We have the network security group. We have the public IP address, and this is the virtual machine, okay? We have the storage, which is the disk, and then we have the VNet. But you will notice that we do not have the subnet, okay? So subnet is a subset of a VNet. That means that it is inside of the VNet that we will find the subnet. So if I click into this VNet now, and on this subnet panel, this is our subnet here named Boku subnet. If you want to confirm that, go back into the code. Okay, now the program is now fully deployed. But quickly go back into the variable. I'll just, and then look for subnets. And then this is the subnet, and then you can see the name of the subnet here to be Boku subnet. Okay, so go back here. This is our subnet, right? Then the next thing I will do is to quickly go onto the resource group and then click into my virtual machine. So this is the overview page of the virtual machine. It is fully provisioned. It is working. And you can see here that this is the standard D2 V3 size, which is essentially 2 central processing units and 8 GB of RAM. Okay. And then this is the IP address. So this is the IP address. You will notice that this IP address is the same thing as the IP address that is printed on our terminal. Okay. So this output here is coming directly from this output.tf file. And as you can see inside the output.tf file, we have just 2 outputs here, which is the resource group name and then the IP address. Okay, so the IP address is 20.162.80.80, right? And if I go back to Azure, then you see 20.162.80.80. So the next thing that I will do will be to quickly connect into the virtual machine. So I'll click connect, and then I'll download the RDP. I'm going to be saving the RDP file inside my cloud engineering projects folder. So I'll just click save, and that's now saved. So I'll go into the folder, and this is the RDP file here. It is essentially our virtual machine. So I'll just open this. And then I will click on connect. So this is now asking for password, right? So I'll go back into the Terraform code. I'll go into the variable.tl file and I will look for the password that we've set. So this will be the password, and then I'll copy the password, go back into the RDP file and then paste the password. Okay. And then click yes. So this is our virtual machine provisioned for us. And yeah, that's it. That's it, guys. That's how to create a virtual machine using Terraform. So on this virtual machine, you can do just about anything. Anything that you can do on your private or personal machine, you can also do it on this virtual machine. So this is not just an ordinary virtual machine. It is actually a server, right? It's a data center 2019 server. Is it 2019? Let me quickly confirm. So I'll go into the main and then I can confirm. And as you can see, this is data center 2019. That's it, guys. And I can do anything I want on this virtual machine. Yeah, this is it. This is our virtual machine, and you can do about everything that you can do on your local machine on this same virtual machine. So that's it, guys. That's how to provision a virtual machine using Terraform.